हाँ सर, सुरू करा सर.
ओके, कदाचित आज विसर्जनामुळे विद्यार्थी संख्या कमी आहे. विद्यार्थी नंतर होते. Very warm welcome to on behalf of Dean of SRTMU and Computer Section. Firstly, I welcome to all dear participants. This is the 8th day of lecture series. I highly welcome to today's resource person, Dr. Mahesh Kokre sir. Sir has renowned personality in the field of research methodology, and today's topic is World University Ranking System. So don't take much more time. I request to Dr. Mahesh Kokre sir, please deliver the lecture. Dr. Mahesh Kokre sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. So just I'll share my screen. Sir, is it visible? Screen is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Screen is visible.
Okay, so thank you very much. And this is my 4th lecture in this lecture series. Earlier, I talked about research ethics in first lecture. In second lecture, I talked about how to write a paper. In third lecture, I talked about examination system in autonomous institutes. Now, in the fourth lecture, I'll be talking about university world ranking system. Okay. Now you know that why university ranking system. Okay, and what kind of ranking systems are available and so on. So you know that in a world culture of competitiveness, okay, one country is competing with other country, and okay, and it's not only in one field or like that, in every field. So you might have seen that, okay, ICC declares the rank of various countries in cricket, like, okay, which country is in top in test match. Okay, so right now, so for example, Australia is in top, India is in second position, and then all like that. Then again in ODI, which country is in top? Again T20, which country is in top? Okay, so this is based. Okay, this ranking is done by ICC, International Council of Cricket Council. Also, they do the comparison of individual bowlers, also batsmen, all-rounder, fielder, and everything. Okay. In the same way, education system is also not spared. Okay. So since 2003, this world ranking system has been started. So in you know that in all kind of competition, the competitors are ranked on the excellence. So you know that in cricket also, if your team is performing well in all field, definitely your team will be on top position. So your team will be excellent. So similarly, our education system or university system, if university is performing well in all aspect of education, then that university will be ranked as a top university. If it is not performing well, so it will be at the bottom side and so on. So in all kind of competitions, the competitors are ranked on the excellence. So this university ranking system will give you the knowledge that which university in the world is performing well and where our university stands in that ranking table and so on. So the purpose of ranking is to provide the global comparison. Like for example, where our SRTMU stands, okay, in the world ranking. Okay. So the purpose of ranking is to provide the global comparison of their universities against the national mission of remaining or big. Okay, where we are lacking, we can also find the reasons, and then we can improve on that one, and we can provide the best to the students. After all, okay, universities are for the students. So best facilities, best education, and all those things. So providing trusted performance data on the universities for students and their families, okay, or academic leaders or government and industry and so on. So during the admission, like I know that when I was taking admission to my daughter for MS after BTech, then definitely, okay, we will looking for the universities which are best. So this university world ranking system gave us a direction that these are the best overall universities. These are the upper level where you can get sure shot. Okay, these are the universities, dream universities for your education and so on. So sometimes it may happen that like the overall ranking of that university may be good, but particular department ranking may not be that much good, and so on. So am I audible, sir?
Yes,
Am
sir.
I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So this will give you the guideline that how those universities are performing, and as a parent or as a student or like for example the employer who would like to recruit the people, they would like to recruit the best among okay, the available and so on. So that will give you the guideline okay, for the people to select the best one and so on. So obviously the high ranking universities okay, attract the brightest student, and the universities which are not performing well, but they would like to attract the students. So definitely they will give some kind of this one. They will lure the students with attractive offers like, okay, they will give free discount or free laptop or free international tour and so on. So like that schemes are also available and so on. Now, university ranking system is okay, assess the performance on the global this one, okay, global level and okay. On the global stage, and to provide the resources for the readers to understand the different missions and success of higher education in the institution, right? So ranking covers particularly in university ranking, they give focus on three different aspects. One is research. Another one is what is the impact of research on overall world, and then how teaching learning okay, happens in that university and so on. So world university ranking provides the definitive list of world's best universities with an emphasis on research mission and so on. And you know that it is the only global university league table. So it is just like as a table kind of thing. And then you'll get that, okay, number one university is this one, number two university is this one, and so on. So these, from this table, we can judge the research intensity universities across all their core missions. Like, for example, how teaching learning happens, what kind of environment is there, okay, how research happens, how much research is done there, is there any income from the research, what is the reputation of that research, where papers are published, how many citations okay, these papers get, okay, and then so all those factors are there which are considered, or industry, how much industry income is there, and okay, international outlook, how many faculty members are from abroad in that university, or how many students from abroad get admission there, and so on. So next question comes in our mind is that do university ranking system really matters for us? So the simple answer is yes. As I told you that it will give you the guideline for the parents, it will give the guideline to the students, it will give the guideline to the recruiters to select the best one among the available. So simple answer for, okay, does university ranking matters? Answer is yes. So it can be well worth your time to carefully study how a university ranks in a different subject. As I said that some, for example, it may happen that some of the universities overall ranking is good, but one particular department may not be good. So are you going to take the admission in that department where facilities are facilities are not available at par with other department and so on? So there may be, like, for example, that particular department, computer science and engineering department, is performing very well in other university, but overall ranking is less. So as a student, definitely that student will give the preference to the department which is performing well and so on. So university ranking or department-wise ranking really matter for the students as well as parents as well as recruiters. So the right university, often the right university for you won't be the one with the highest overall ranking and so on. So employer who don't require specific degree subject tend to target the universities with the best overall reputation and those which have provided them the best candidate, because the environment, overall environment, teaching learning environment as well as research environment in the best university will be outstanding and so on. So student will be molded according to that. Okay. So students, governments, and universities and industry use ranking to benchmark the quality and so on. Now, how many world ranking systems are available? Existing and so on. So there are mainly three ranking systems available. First one is ARWU. So you know that in 2003, two researchers from China, they thought that in every field there is a ranking system, only the education field is left out, and they started working on that one. And this academic ranking began in 2003, and the first report was published in 2004 and so on. So first ranking system is academic ranking of world university, ARWU, is from China. Then at the same time, from UK, this QS World University Ranking System, that is QSWUR, was also started along with one of the industry, QS industry. So Quackerley and Quackerley Cements. So QS means Quackerley Cement. So this industrial partner and the academic partner, they came together and they started this QS World University Ranking system in 2004 in UK. Then at that time, so this Times Higher Education Group was also associated with them. But in 2009, they separated from QS and they started the Times Higher Education World Ranking System, THEWR, in 2009, along with Thomson Reuters. So presently, there are three internationally or world ranking systems available for universities. One is ARWU, it is from China. Second is from QSWR, is also from UK. And third one is the Times Education World Ranking System. So every year they publish the report, and then you might have seen that the report published by ARWU, number one university may be different. If report published by QSWR, this number one university may be different and so on, because the parameters or the which are used for measuring the performance are different by different ranking systems. So times also and so on. But overall, you will find in top 10, 2-3 universities are really common universities, like for example, MIT or Harvard University or Stanford University or Cambridge University, Oxford University. These universities are really common in all those three ranking systems and so on. So there is another host of organizations nationally and internationally that provide their own rankings, like as a Financial Times ranking for business schools and the US Today ranking for American universities and so on. Now, apart from that one, so this is for university, world ranking. But nowadays, it has been started for regional level. Like, for example, Asia University Ranking System has been started. Then Latin America University Ranking System has been started. Europe University Ranking System, European University Ranking System has been started. Or Arab University Ranking System has been started, and so on. So this is a region-wise. But also at the same time, national level also, university ranking system has been started. And in India, you know that in 2015, on 20th September 2015, then Minister of Education announced that we will also have our own system for ranking the universities, ranking the university institutes, and they called it as a NIRF, that is National Institute Ranking Framework. So the National Institutional Ranking Framework has been accepted by Minister of Education and launched by the Honorable Minister for the Education on 20th September 2015. And this framework outlines the methodology to rank the institution and universities across the country. So at state India level, NIRF ranking is used and so on. Now, you know that, see, most of the universities are started recently and they are good in teaching, learning, and so on. And there are so many old universities which have established their brand and they are very good in research and every field. So competing with all those universities is really difficult. So in 2016, this Times higher education world university ranking system, they have started to rank based on teaching also. So teaching ranking, that is teaching ranking, were developed to offer the different assessment of excellence in higher education and to enable us to rank institutions that are often non-research focused enough to be eligible for world university ranking and so on. So this was started recently in 2016, 5 years back, and these rankings are geographically focused because the data with teaching and issues related, so tend to be much more local than global in nature and so on. So they published these two Times higher education world university ranking system.
सर आवाज येत नाही आपला.
Some of the attempts for giving the opportunity for the newly established this one. Now, generally, when this world university ranking system is released, so you know that recently QS World Ranking System has been released in June 2022. Generally, the QS World University Ranking System is released in the month of June. So this is 2022. So generally, 1 year in advance, they released that one. So present available ranking system, it is for academic year 2022-23 and so on. So it is called as a list of 2023. So the QS World University Ranking are released annually in the month of June, whereas the Times Higher Education World University Ranking are released annually in September, and both QS and the Times Higher Education also release the additional ranking dedicated to the subject and region throughout the year. And as I said, that first university ranking system, which was started in China by the Shanghai ranking, and that is ARWU, this is released slightly earlier as compared to the other. Now, which are the factors which they consider while ranking the universities? So there are 8 factors they consider. First one is the academic reputation. So this evaluate the perception of worldwide academics on which universities are academically excellent. And the weightage for this academic reputation is given as a 40% of universities' final score and is based on World Digest survey of academics worldwide. So they collect the survey of the people and then opinion about the academics which has happened in that university, and the 40% weightage is given for that one. Second factor they are considering for ranking the university is employer reputation. So they collect the survey from the employer who has recruited the student from that university, and then what is their feedback, what kind of work they are doing in their industries and so on. So they evaluate the perception of worldwide employers on which university produce the best graduates and so on. So this amounts a particular 10% of university's final score in world ranking, and is based on the responses from employers all over the world. So it measures how employable the graduates of particular university are there. So after all, the student who has completed their graduation, he or she should get the job, and then after getting job, they should perform well. So if they have learned very well, so definitely they will perform well, and then recruiters will be happy with that one. So this employer's reputation is also very, very important for ranking the universities. The third factor which they are considering for world university ranking system is how much is the faculty student ratio. So this faculty student ratio, it should be high. So number of faculty should be more, and so on. So this measures the ratio of teachers to the student at university. So which in turn measure the proxy the amount of attention and interaction of a student, and that can expect to receive from their professors and so on. So like, for example, if I'm teaching to the class of 20 students, so I'll come to know each and every student one-to-one. But if I'm teaching, like, for example, this happens to my PG course. Okay, when I teach to my PG course where only 20 students are there, so I know each and every student and I can interact with each and every student. But when I go for my this one undergraduate class, and then there are 75 students, and when I'm teaching, okay, taking only 3 to 4 hours lecture per week, so definitely most of the time I don't know whether that student is from that class or not. So teacher student relation will be very weak in that case. So if teacher-student ratio is high, then interaction between the student will be among student will be good with the faculty member and so on. So the higher the faculty to student ratio, this indicates the commitment to the learning and teaching, and it counts 20% of the final score while ranking the universities. Then third thing is that the citation per paper. Now, see, higher education systems or universities are the job of professor is not only to teach, but to do this research and solve the real world problem or solve the society problem of that country and so on. So while doing the research, they must be publishing a paper, and then this research should be of a quality. And if that research is referred by many scientists, other scientists, and carried forward, definitely you will get the more citations and so on. Otherwise, if your research is not considered by other researchers, or they are not referring at all your research, then what is the use of publishing that paper and so on. So this citations per paper gives the research impact of that faculty member of that university. So it uses the world's largest for finding this, whether your research has been used by other researchers and so on. So they are using the world's largest academic citation database, like, for example, Scopus database, to measure the research impact. And better research gets cited more than poor research. And citation per paper are a way of measuring the average quality of university's research paper. And this weightage for citation or research impact is given almost 20% of its final score and so on. Then another thing is that, see, if you want to become a truly global, make the impact globally, then definitely there should be a student, there should be faculty members which are coming from other country as a faculty member or as a students and so on. So what is the international faculty ratio? How many faculty members are there recruited in your university from foreign countries and so on? So this measures the proportion of university's academic staff that are from abroad, and internationalization measures both the desirability of university for academics around the world, and its success is attracting to those researchers. Like, for example, if your university is performing well, definitely the people or professors or researchers which are performing well will get attracted towards your university to serve your university and so on. But if your university is not performing well and not giving much opportunity for the other people, then definitely there will not be any globalization of your university. So how many faculty members are there from abroad? So this counts around 5% total score weightage is given, 5% weightage is given. Then the sixth factor, that is international student ratio. So how many students from abroad are seeking admission in your university? How many, like, for example, many students want to study in Stanford University, many students want to study in Harvard University, many students want to study in MIT. I have seen that, see, for MBA program, just I was reading. So there are some students like those who were waiting for 6 to 7 years to get the admission in the dream university for doing the MBA and so on. Means actually in the USA, okay, and the students were from India, okay, And so this shows that, okay, how important those universities are there, and then how students are eager to get admission in those universities and so on. So how many international students are coming to your university, that also matters a lot. So this measures the proportion of university student body that comes from the abroad, and it measures how desirable the university is to student across the globe, and it acknowledges the cultural understanding in one increasingly important soft skill in a global economy. And the universities with a large proportion of international students facilitate the culture exchange, okay, articulate alternative approaches and viewpoints and so on. And then this turns turn the university into a global institution and so on. I remember that when I went for my postdoctoral research work. Okay, so I got admission at University of California, Santa Barbara under Voice Fellowship. And you know that I'm doing research in the area of machine learning and artificial intelligence or image processing, pattern recognition, and so on. Now, for doing the research in the area of AI, ML, or DIP, PR, what you need only computer. Okay, you need only the cameras and so on. Now, high-end computers, if those computers are made available to you, can you not do the research in India? Okay, then what is the purpose of going abroad and then, okay, spending money and so on? So when you are going abroad, it's not only learning the things academically, but the environment, okay, cultural difference, or you can learn so many things from the foreign universities, and then that you can bring back that culture, and then you can develop your institute or university, okay, and take your university or institute to the higher position, and which will be globally acclaimed and so on. So exposure to the top universities is very, very important for the students, and this counts around 5%, so on. The seventh factor which is considered for World University Ranking System is the employment outcome. Okay, so this reflects the ability of institution to ensure the high level of employability for their graduate. I mean, like, for example, if 5,000 students are like, for example, in our SRTME, like 15,000 students are there. So whether all those 15,000 students are getting a job after completing their graduation or not, so that is also a concern and so on. So if everybody is getting the job, definitely the students will be happy, their families will be happy, and the reputation of university will also go high and so on. So this reflects the employment outcome and so on. Even see, in engineering, admissions are most of the time parents and students think while taking the admission that, okay, how many students get a job in this one campus, through campus in any particular college, and then which company visits, and then what is the maximum package they offer and so on. So universities or institutes, they do the advertisement based on, like, for example, this year in HGS College of Engineering and Technology, 90% placement was there, and the highest package offered in our institute is 52 lakh rupees, and there are some students who got 45 lakh rupees package and so on. So this shows the employability outcome of our institute and so on. Then the eighth and last factor which is considered for ranking university, okay, world ranking, is the international research network. So this reflects the ability of institution to diversify the global, geography of international research network by establishing the sustainable research partnership with other higher educational. So you have a MOU, you have collaborative research work with higher, at national level or at international levels. So that also reflects while World University Ranking System is calculated and so on. Now, as I said, that there are three basic ranking system. First one is ARWU, that is academic ranking of world universities, and this was started in 2003. So this was a game at the tertiary education level, which was first started by the academic ranking of world university in 2003, and this was particularly started by the Center of World Class University and the Institute of Higher Education of Shanghai Jiaotong University from China. So from China, it has been started in 2003. And the initial purpose this ranking system, global ranking system, is to find out how many Chinese universities are then in top as per the world ranking and so on. So since then, it has attracted the great deal of attention from universities, government, and public media and worldwide. Then in 2009, this ARW has been published annually and copyrighted by Shanghai Ranking Consultancy. And this ARWU, that is Academic Ranking World University, uses the six indicators for ranking. So this includes the number of alumni and staff winning the Nobel Prizes, field medals, number of highly cited research papers selected by the Clarivate, number of articles published in the Journal of Nature and Science, number of articles indexed in the Science Citation Index and Expanded and Social Science Citation Index, and as per capita performance of the university. So these are the factors they have used for finding the university ranking, and more than 2,000 university ranked ARW every year, and they publish which are the 1,000 best universities and so on. So according to the originator of this ranking system was Liu and Cheng. Okay, in 2005, they said that the purpose was to find out what makes the university excellence. Okay, and implicitly the aim was to qualitatively describe the contributing factor, while ranking was the only natural consequence of amazing information for many universities from all over the world. So this was the first world university ranking system, that is ARWU. Then in second world ranking university system started in 2004 by Quackerly-Symonds World University Ranking System. In short, it is called as the QS ranking, and it is nothing but the QSWUR, that is Quackerly-Symonds World University Ranking System. So it has been started in 2004, and it was launched by the company, industrial partner, that is Quackerly-Symonds, in collaboration with the Times Higher Education. And in 2004, this QSWR was conceived independent of the ARWU, and as a follow-up of 2003 review of a collaborative relationship between British universities and industry. And at that time, they published how many universities are performing better and so on and so on. And generally nowadays, this QS World Ranking University, they publish which are the top 2,000 universities in the whole world and so on. The result is generally published in a collaboration with Times Higher Education. And although this QSWR started in a national agenda to help the British university assess their relative standing in worldly context, universities of other nations were also included, and that has become as a world ranking. So this gave the system a global orientation and ranking, and was expressed desired, thus highlighting the global competition and so on. Then the third ranking system, which was started in 2009, and that is QSWR, Times Higher Education World Ranking System, that is THEWR. That is T is nothing but the Times, H is Higher Education World Ranking. So as you know that this was separated from QSWR. As the QSWR, which was started in 2004, it was criticized on conceptual ground as favoring only natural and physical science, and thus having bias against humanities. And the Times Higher Education changed the partner. See that this Times Higher Education, it was partner of QS, but now they changed the partner in 2009. And which was the new partner? New partner was Thomson Reuters. So with Thomson Reuters and then this Times Higher Education, from 2009, they have started THEWR, that is Times Higher Education World Ranking, who broke with QS and joined the efforts with Thomson Reuters. And you know that Thomson Reuters is also a world largest research data specialist, and they started the world ranking system. And the name of that world ranking
ज्योतिबा माइक पुट करा.
So THEWR started in 2009. So after complete review of ranking methodology, they are publishing the report and so on. And they are using the new set of so the first THEWR result appeared in 2010, almost 10 years back. And as you expected, the new set of indicators are used ranking for universities change and so on. So at presently, there are 3 ranking systems. And if you see the list of universities, you will find that there are different universities in the top and so on, because they have used different parameters. What kind of parameters they are using? Now, another thing is that, okay, one more thing, ranking system they have started, that is young universities, the universities which are of age less than 50 years. And for them, definitely the research will not be that much matured and so on. So, but they are doing well in teaching learning systems. So QS also releases the QS top 50 under 50 ranking annually to rank the universities that have been established for under 50 years. And these institutions are judged based on their position of overall table. Okay, and you know that from 2015, QS top 50 under 50 ranking was expanded to include the world top 100 institutions under 50 years of age, while in 2017 it was again expanded and include the world's top 150 universities and so on. And so on. Now, see, just I have given the comparison table of what kind of indicators these 3 world ranking systems are using. So there are 6 factors particularly. ARWU is the Chinese world rankings university system. So they are using a factor like indicator like alumni winning Nobel Prizes and field medals. They are giving 10% weightage for that one. Then staff winning Nobel Prize and field medals, they are giving 20% this one. Then highly cited research paper researchers, 20% weightage is given in ARW. Articles published in Nature Journal and Science Journal. You know that Nature and Science are the high impact journals. So if your papers are published in that one, so they are giving 20% weightage for that one. And then Science Citation Index and Social Science Citation Index, that is SC and SSCI, they are giving 20% of weightage, and per capita academia performance on the above, that is 10%. So overall 100% weightage is given for these 6 criteria. Whereas in case of QSWR, they are also using 6 different criteria, but their criteria or indicators are different. So they are giving 40% weightage for the academic peer review, that how teaching learning happens, and they are taking the feedback from a large number of people from the society and so on. Then employer and recruiter review, they are giving 10% weightage, citation per faculty 20% weightage, then student faculty ratio 20% weightage, international student 5% weightage, and international faculty 5% weightage. Whereas this international student and international faculty are not considered in ARWU. Okay, whereas so this was the second world ranking system, and which was started in 2004. And in 2009, this THEWR, that is Times Higher Education World University Ranking System, they started in 2009, and first report was published in 2010. So they are giving 30% weightage for teaching, then research 30% weightage, citation 32.5, and then industry income 2.5, and international mix 5%, and so on. So you can see that from this table, every world university ranking system, they have used different criteria and so on, and that is the reason why okay, their list is different and so on. Okay, so if you do the observations, so from the indicator in the ARWA, this gives very strong emphasis almost on exclusively on external environment of the university, and the ranking on Nobel and field awards or staff publications or citation in reputable journal, or even its last indicator is derived from the earlier one, thus giving further emphasis on external evaluation of achievements already covered and so on. So in total, this ARWU, they are using 6 this one indicators, whereas in a QSWR second ranking system, this compared with ARWU, this QSWR does not only pay attention to the academic achievement, but also considers university's external condition, like for example, how many students are getting employment after graduation from that universities. And then second one is international organizational conditions, such as how many student, internal organizational conditions such as student and faculty ratio, and proportional international mix, like how many faculty members are from abroad, they are working as a professor in that university, how many students from foreign students are taking admission in that university and studying there. So that kind of factors are also considered by this QSWR. So this seems to reflect better and the modern characteristic of universities' dual functions. So it is giving not only importance to the research, but this is also giving importance to the teaching. So teaching and research for both, it is giving importance in QSWR. So that will give you the trend of globalization of higher education. And also they are using 6 indicators, but these indicators are different from ARWR. The third one, that is THEWR, that Times Higher Education World University Ranking System. This is the new player of university ranking system, and they are giving emphasis on teaching, research, and publication, and also takes due cognizance of trends of globalization of higher education, and uses only 5 indicators as compared to the 6 indicators, and so on. Now see that these are the correlation among the ARWU indicators. So correlation between alumni, so correlation means similarity, right? So definitely correlation factor between same will be high. But now see that alumni and award 0.763 correlation is there. Then correlation between alumni and highly cited researcher, that is highly cited researcher, HICI is nothing but the highly cited researcher. NS means articles published in Nature and Science. PUB means Science Citation Index and Social Science Index, and PCP means per capita academia performance, and so on. So this gives this table gives the correlation among all those factors, and you know that this correlation between different factors should be minimum. Otherwise, there will be overlapping and so on. So here you see that there is large value of correlation. So there is a redundancy while using the data and so on. So same is there is an improvement in a correlation table of QSWR. So you might have seen that if you compare the earlier table, the values are high when you are comparing this alumni with award or alumni with HICI and so on. This value should come because that will give you the redundancy and so on. So it is less in in QSWR. So definitely QSWR can be a good because it is considering the independent factors and so on. So same is the case with the THWR indicators and so on. Now, so I told about there are 3 different world ranking systems existing and so on. Now, question comes in our mind that where Indian university stands in 2023. So if you look at the ranking of 2023, QS World Ranking of 2023, so I'll just show you this years, which was published in June 2000. And you know that the first top university is the MIT. MIT is world ranking 1 university, which is from USA. And then Cambridge University, UK, Stanford University, US, Oxford University, UK, Harvard University, US, then Caltech is there, then Imperial College London, UCL, then ETH Zurich, University of Chicago. So like that way. Now, where India stands, so if I just search from this one, I'll tell you that this search is like in top 200, there are 3 Indian institutes. One is IIT Bombay, second one is IIT Delhi, and the third one is ISC Bangalore. So these are the institutions which got placed in top 200 as per QS World Ranking in 2023. And QS World Ranking 2023, they have published a list of top 1422 universities, and among top 1422 universities, there are 14 41 Indian institutes or universities they found, and this time there are 7 new entries from the India. This list is available on the internet. You can go through it, and then you can find then which are the universities. Like for example, Pune University is also there, Calcutta University is also there, and then IITs, other IITs are also there, and so on, and so on. Now, the status of Indian universities in global ranking is that, that despite the presence of prestigious IIT, there are more than 22 IITs are there. Initially, there were 7 IITs. Now it has been increased. And also there are good IIMs are also there. So Indian education institutes and universities have had remarkably poor run when it comes to the global institutional. We are not in top 100 and so on. So according to the QS World University Ranking 2023, no Indian university of educational or educational institute was listed in top 100. In contrast, how many Chinese are there? So Chinese universities, 6 Chinese universities are there in top 100. So at present, we need an infusion of fresh ideas and teaching mechanism to create a new educational infrastructure that not just delivers the knowledge, but also encourage the new thinking and boost the spirit of innovation in the new generation and so on. Right. Now, so why not? What are the reasons why Indian institutions are not in top 100? So that first thing is that global ranking system ignores any institution that does not have enough undergraduate. If you go to the IIT, number of students in IIT are limited. It's not like as a 35,000 student or 40,000 students which are there in top universities of the world. So there are only entries of, like for example, 400 or 300 students are there, or 400 intake is there, 500 intake is there, not more than that one. So that is one of the reasons that we have top institutes, but the intake is less in those institutes. So that means institutions such as IIMs, business management institutes or ISCs or ISER are out of connection. So it's very difficult that they will come in top 100 and so on. Now international, the campuses are, how international campuses are there. Now, definitely given various impediments, our universities don't admit a lot of overseas students. And in university world ranking system, there is a weightage for international faculty as well as international student. And practically in our Indian universities, very less foreign students are there, or very less foreign faculty members are there, and so on. At least few foreign students are there, but I have not seen this one, foreign faculty members teaching in Indian universities or Indian institutes and so on. Very less. Okay, so how much research income is generated? The university receives from their research or from industries and so on. So it is very less. Whereas if you go to the US universities get copious grant from NSF, that is National Science Foundation, or NIH or DOD. And apart from the corporations, like for example, Google funds very heavily, or General Electric or IBM or FedEx, they are giving a lot of money to the universities, and that money is utilized for creating the infrastructure or starting the new programs in the universities, and automatically that helps for improving the global ranking and so on. The second, fourth important reason is that why Indian universities are not in top 100 is that volume of citation and research volume. So unlike the universities in US and Europe with all academic discipline in India, with, like for example, in universities in US, like where I studied my postdoc at University of California, Santa Barbara, it was a 1,000-acre institute university, and where all the branches were there, engineering, medical, all those arts, commerce, science, and so on. So everywhere there, and then truly interdisciplinary culture was there, and doing the research interdisciplinary and so on. So many faculty members were involved for solving the real world problems. For solving the real world problems, so only electronics engineer or only computer engineer or only arts person or only commerce person will not solve. So for that, people from different disciplines should come together. They should identify the problem, and then they should divide that problem according to their specialization, and then people should work together and find the solution for the given problem and so on. So this is possible only when the university has complete setup of all these disciplines. But unfortunately, in many Indian universities, Okay, most of the institutes are outside the universities and they are independent, are isolated. Like for example, engineering college is isolated from medical college is isolated from arts, commerce, science. They don't know each other, and then forget about the this one interdisciplinary research. And when interdisciplinary research is not there, or people are not together, the citation will be less in that case. So unlike, but in foreign or developed countries, the university concept is very prominent, where all the disciplines are housed in the same location. And that means the volume of research will be small in our case, whereas the volume of research in their university will be large. So given that each of our institute is very smaller in terms of staff and student, for instance, IIT Kanpur has about only 5,000 students compared to the Iowa State University. This is the state university. And how many students are there in Iowa State University? 32,000, whereas IIT Kanpur, only 5,000 students are there. So when it comes to the faculty, the ratio could be 1:10 and so on. Now, what are the problems with Indian institutions or universities? Lack of endowment culture. Like for example, in developed countries or US or UK, many alumni donate the funds to the universities, and through this donation, these universities can build the infrastructure or facilities for the student. Like for example, Harvard alone has $32 billion in its endowment. Stanford has about $16 billion, and Yale has about $19 billion as an endowment fund donated by the alumni. So this money funds is used for creating the new infrastructure and research facility and hiring the faculty members. Whereas now see that in contrast with the entire expenditure on higher education in India by the government is about $3 billion per year. See that where is $3 billion for entire education system in India, and then $32 billion only for Harvard. Okay, so almost 12 times more as compared to the Indian budget on education, which is given to the Harvard University. So definitely money is more. So infrastructure will be more. They can spend, okay, high-end researchers. They can appoint the foreign professors and so on. And so that is one of the reason. Second thing is that top Indian institutions are young. Like, see, though we know that the oldest universities like as a Nananda and Takshila was the first universities, and then they were in India, but later on we could not sustain with them. And okay, so you know that other universities in India are really young as compared to the universities in UK and so on. So almost all the reputed universities in UK and US are over a century old. So Oxford was founded in 1167 AD, Cambridge on 1209, Harvard on 1636, and Yale 1701. So almost 400, 500, 700 years back, those universities are established and they have good infrastructure, good culture, and so on. So that means they have an accumulated benefit of centuries of wisdom, alumni, infrastructure, and international reputation. Whereas the first IIT, which was established in India, was IIT Kharagpur in 1951 by then Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And then after that, there was, okay, only 7 IITs till 2000, like for 50 years, only 7 IITs were there. And then later on, now more than 22 IITs are established and so on. So comparatively, we are really young in educational field and so on, universities wise and so on. Then another thing is that in India, what we are doing, we are giving more focus on the professional education than the research and so on, because our budget is not like as the budget of this one, US or UK. So India's top priority when it comes to the higher education is to educate the enough engineers or doctors or managers. And this is because we need enough nation builders given our society of the economy. So at this stage, the development with per capita income hovering around $1,200 per person per year. So it is wise to put the money on educational professionals rather than research and so on. So that is one of the reasons why India is not giving this one much money for higher education. So Indian educated students, you know that many students are doing really well in abroad as a researchers, as a professors and so on. And Another thing is that problem with Indian universities is that poor infrastructure or payment to the faculty. So in India, being a professor is not that attractive job. Like if you compare your counterpart in foreign universities, like how much professors get, what kind of facilities they get, what kind of research infrastructure they get, and so on. Or even in IITs also, you know that there are really good professors in IITs, but how much they get? So their students who recently graduated, they earn 4 times more as compared to this one. So good software engineer could earn 4 times of what IIT faculty member earns. So given the poor payment and horrible politics, people tend to assume that you had no other options before you joined as faculty member and so on. So how to improve the Indian universities global ranking? So definitely there are hopes for us also if we do in a collective manner in the right direction. Definitely our universities will be also in the top of this one. So we need to create a global culture to have world-class educational institution and borrow ideas of in pedagogy from best institution around the world and move from top down to bottom up. Like for example, our professors should be highly motivated and they should pass on this knowledge to the students and so on. So for country that aspires to become a major global player over the next quarter of century, mediocre education is not the way forward. So we have to really change ourselves as a faculty member, as a professor. So if we aim to dominate the global discourse, we need the educational institution that not only create the skilled human resource, but also boost the indigenous research and development. So definitely to solve our own problems or of our own society, we should do the research and we should give the solution rather than borrowing the research to solve our own problem of our own society. So that is not a good idea. So power the country's intellectual and entrepreneurial leadership and instill scientific thinking among the masses. That is the job of our professors and so on. So we also need institution that can become a major draw for international students to help obtain the twin purpose of earning foreign reserves and spreading the country's software. So we need to basically attract foreign students, and so definitely we'll get the foreign money or dollars which will come to India, and then culture will also be different in the universities. Then student and teacher exchange programs should be there among the world-class based universities. So our management should be a broad thinking which will have a collaboration with world-class universities, and then student and teacher exchange should be there. So definitely if our faculty member goes to the world's best class universities and stay there for like for example 6 months, do the research, collaborative research, and then bring the best practices from that and implement that one in our own universities. So that will also help to improve the quality. The idea of strict curriculum delineation also need to be done with away with. Like now we have started NMP 2020 implementation, and then there will be multi-exit, entry system, as well as interdisciplinary research will be there. Another thing is that if you go in the foreign universities, students really enjoy the cafeteria system. Like for example, they have to complete these many credits in this semester, so they just pick up the subjects and then complete the credits. Whereas in our system, we have fixed subjects and student has to take those subjects and then they will get passed and so on. So we have our system which is very rigid system, which is not flexible. So we have to make that system very flexible and student centric, and then students should be able to choose the subject as per their interest. So students should be given an opportunity to pursue the literally any interest they might have. For example, a student who opts physics must not be deprived of freedom to study economics and history, and if he want or like that. The student must have the freedom to choose from baskets of subject, like as a simple basket. Like for example, if you go to supermarket, then you are picking this item, that item, and so on, and then after that you are coming out of that supermarket. Similarly, when any student enter in the university, he should or she should be able to choose the subject which he likes and then get the degree and so on. So new socially relevant subjects such as environmental studies and development studies also need to be promoted, and conscious efforts be made to involve the students in devising the new ideas to deal with the countries and so on. Then appointing mentors is also very, very important. Then we need a better student to teacher to student ratio, so that one-to-one interaction among the student and teacher will be there, and the student will interact with faculty members not only for their educational subject, but also for other subject, or to solve their own problems and so on. Then student satisfaction matters, very, very important. So as much as grades and passing rates, the emphasis of measuring and institution success should be on student satisfaction from the life on the campus, how enriching their life is there, whether they are really comfortable, what kind of facilities they are getting for research, what kind of facilities they are getting for learning, what kind of facilities they have for accommodation, hostel conditions, and so on. So all those things we need to give more importance, and equal emphasis should be given on maintaining the good housing facility, as it adds up to everything to the student doing on the campus and so on. And the student should be exposed to the opinion and the ways of life, and that may never be have been exposed otherwise, and so on. So the also important is to establish close ties with the institution alumni, who can be instrumental in helping new students to find the job. I'll tell you that nowadays in our institute, as I said, that last year we got 90% placement in our institute, and most of the placement is done by our own alumni. They are helping our institute, and our students, they are recruiting our students. So definitely in every universities, this may happen, and student will be getting the employment after graduation. So my concluding remarks are: university ranking is nothing more than an attempt to arrange the universities in descending order of merit. So it is a like, for example, ICC ranking and so on. And the result of such ranking have attracted a lot of attention, and often are taken too literally or too seriously sometimes. And this is perfectly understandable, because university sponsors or and supporters or administrators or teaching staff and students, as well as parents, they need the information about that university in various front, and then need the ranking of that university for taking the admissions and so on. So in India, the policy on higher education remains ambiguous by the successive central and state government, and the government were quick to announce the new IITs or new IIMs and new AIMs in every budget. However, the lack of quality faculty, staff, and infrastructure of these institutions will take decades to become the sustainable. And you know that the grand plan of India, Make in India and 20 trillion economy, will remain dream until Indian research provides cutting edge scientific solution. So we need to increase our research. India cannot excel on borrowed research and technology from other countries to solve our own problem of our own societies, which we as a researcher, we as a faculty member should give solution to those problems. So the ranking in a yearly is a yearly game. So every year this ranking will change. And it is the time for us to show the world that Indian universities can produce the finest research, best students, and great innovation in future. And this has one step we have taken, that is implementation of NEP 2020, which is nothing but multi-entry, multi-exit, as well as interdisciplinary research. So this will really boost the culture of, like, for example, of solving the real world problem of our own countries and so on. So definitely in future we'll march to be into top 100 and so on. So thank you very much for listening me, and over to you, sir.
थँक्यू सर, थँक्यू व्हेरी मच. आजच्या सेशनच्या अनुषंगाने कुणाला काय एखादी शंका असेल तर विचारावी, नाहीतर आपण पुढे जाऊया. Dear participant, you have any queries, please ask.
Shall I stop my presentation or?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So no queries is any. आपण समारोप वळूया. थँक्यू सर, थँक्यू व्हेरी मच. स्वामी रामानंद तीर्थ मराठवाडा विद्यापीठ नांदेड, अधिष्ठाता कार्यालय, संगणक विभाग यांच्या संयुक्त विद्यमानं या व्याख्यानमालेचं आयोजन करण्यात आलेलं आहे. आणि या आजच्या सत्रात डॉक्टर महेश कोकरे सर या ठिकाणी आपल्याला उपस्थित राहिले. त्यांनी आजच्या या सत्रामध्ये 5 युनिव्हर्सिटी वर्ल्ड रँकिंग, टाइप्स ऑफ रँकिंग सिस्टम, फॅक्टर कन्सिडर फॉर वर्ल्ड रँकिंग सिस्टम, कंपॅरिझन ऑफ इंडियन वर्ल्ड रँकिंग सिस्टम, फेअर इज इंडियन युनिव्हर्सिटी स्टँड इन अँड प्रॉब्लेम विथ इंडियन युनिव्हर्सिटी, हाऊ टू इम्प्रूव्ह इंडियन युनिव्हर्सिटी ग्लोबल रँक, या सगळ्या मुद्द्यांच्या अनुषंगानं अतिशय सविस्तर माहिती दिली. मी सरांचं मनापासून धन्यवाद व्यक्त करतो. सरांनी कमीत अगदी एका तासामध्ये खूप सारा भाग कव्हर केला. तर खूप खूप धन्यवाद. आजच्या या सत्रासाठी महाविद्यालयातील जे प्राध्यापक, संशोधक, विद्यार्थी यांनीही आपला बहुमोल वेळ या ठिकाणी दिला आणि सरांचे विचार ऐकले. त्याबद्दल मी सगळ्यांचं, पार्टिसिपंटचं या ठिकाणी आभार व्यक्त करतो. आणि या व्याख्यानाला जे काही आयोजित केलेलं आहे, आपण ज्यांच्यामुळे ऐकते ते सुनील जाधव सर यांचंही मी या ठिकाणी आभार व्यक्त करतो आणि आजचं सत्र संपलं असं जाहीर करतो. पुन्हा एकदा धन्यवाद सर.
धन्यवाद सर. धन्यवाद. So I'll leave it that one.
थँक्यू सर. ओके.
ओके सर. ओके सर.
Okay. Thank you.